Once upon a time in a village called Ne, there lived a beautiful young maiden named Adugo. She lived with her elderly parents, Mr. and Mrs. USO, in their humble home along with her younger sister, Unoi. Unoi was peaceful and loving, though their family often struggled. The family lived in such severe poverty and hardship that they could barely afford one meal a day. One fateful day, the king of the village saw Adugo and was captivated by her beauty. He decided to marry her. Adugo married the king, and her parents rejoiced, believing their days of hardship were finally over. However, as Adugo ascended to the throne as queen, her attitude towards her family changed drastically. She became consumed by the allure of wealth and status. Adugo neglected the very people who had supported her through thick and thin. While she lavished the villagers with generosity and extravagant feasts, her own family suffered in silence, their pleas for help falling on deaf ears. Despite her newfound wealth and power, Adugo's heart grew cold, devoid of the warmth and compassion she once possessed. Her parents became a subject of mockery, especially her mother, who became the subject of ridicule for having a daughter who was queen, yet still living in poverty. Bewildered by Adugo's callous behavior, her parents could only watch in sorrow as their daughter turned her back on them completely. Tragedy struck when Adugo's father fell gravely ill, desperately needing medical care that they could not afford. In desperation, Unoi went to the palace to ask her sister for help, but Adugo coldly responded, "I don't have any money to give you. You poor people just won't leave me alone." "Leave me alone? I've spent all my money on clothes and jewelry. Don't come back here asking me for money for any reason," Adugo retorted. Heartbroken, Unoi asked, "Why is sister treating us like this? She's supposed to take care of us, but she's abandoned us. Why is she being so mean to us?" With hearts shattered and desperate, they watched helplessly as their beloved father. His passing marked the end of an era of love and unity in the family. In a cruel twist of fate, Adugo spared no expense in hosting a grandiose funeral for her father. Her mother was heartbroken to see her daughter spending vast sums on the burial when she hadn't provided any money for his medical care. Despite her mother's deep sadness, Adugo remained indifferent. Unoi, on the other hand, was stunned and shocked to see her elder sister behave this way. This isn't the Adugo I grew up with, Unoi thought to herself. She decided never to ask Adugo for assistance again, realizing that her sister was unwilling to help. Adugo continued lavishing money on herself and the villagers, who praised her while mocking Unoi and her mother. Unable to bear the mockery and insults any longer, Unoi took her dear mother to a neighboring village to start their lives afresh. Unoi took on the responsibility of caring for her mother, facing numerous trials and toiling tirelessly to make ends meet. She started doing menial jobs, working on people's farms. One day, while working on a farm, an elderly woman approached Unoi and thanked her for her hard work and kindness towards both the villagers and her mother. The woman told Unoi not to worry, assuring her that, just as her name implies, Unoi meaning blessing, she would become a source of. The elderly woman assured Unoi that she would be a blessing to her family. Not long after, fate intervened again when a kind and wealthy young prince named Akina crossed paths with Unoi. Moved by her resilience and kindness, he fell deeply in love with her and vowed to cherish her forever. Ikena married Unoi in a grand wedding that became the talk of the town. With his support, Unoi rose from the ashes of adversity, finally basking in the warmth of love and security that had eluded her for so long. Meanwhile, Adugo's reign as queen came. Adugo's reign as queen came to an abrupt end with the passing of her husband, leaving her destitute and alone. The village elders ordered her to leave the palace, since she had no child for the late king. Cast out without a penny to her name, Adugo found herself back where she started, haunted by the echoes of her past misdeeds. Meanwhile, Unoi became the queen of the land after marrying Prince Ikena, who ascended the throne of his fathers. Unoi was loved by everyone in the village. She was a beautiful, generous, and kind-hearted queen who cared for her mother with immense love. She wished her dear father could have witnessed the grace she had found. Meanwhile, Adugo became a mere shadow of her former self. Those she had once helped when she was queen turned their backs on her, mocking her for abandoning her parents when she had the chance to support them. They insulted her for being a bad child, and the same crowd that had cheered her lavish generosity now scorned her. Filled with remorse and regret, Adugo sought forgiveness from her family. She explained that her decision to turn her back on them while she was queen stemmed from feeling overshadowed by the attention they gave to her younger sister, Unoi. She felt that everything Unoi did was praised while her own efforts were overlooked. Adugo further mentioned that while she lived with her parents, they frequently compared her unfavorably to Unoi. Her parents always gave Unoi all the credit and frequently spoke disparagingly of her. Adugo admitted that she was overwhelmed with anger, sadness, and depression while growing up with them. This led her to turn her back on her parents, driven by a desire to assert herself and to separate from what she perceived as their favoritism towards Unoi. Humbled by the harsh lessons life had taught her, and with tears in her eyes, she begged for their forgiveness, realizing too late the true value of love and family. In the end, Adugo's story serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the dangers of greed and selfishness. It highlights the importance of compassion, humility, and the enduring bonds of family that withstand life's trials and tribulations. May we learn from her mistakes and strive to cultivate kindness and empathy in our own lives. True wealth lies not in material riches, but in the love and support of those who stand by us through thick and thin. Thank you for watching. Please support us by subscribing to our channel, liking, commenting, and sharing. See you in the next video. Goodbye.